So it appears that we just became homeless. And I'll talk about all that in a minute. The whole theme of the video is going to be about homelessness, I think. As you know, this cat, I think, was dropped off in this area. When I found her, she was in a live trap. I trapped her by accident. I was trying to get a raccoon and she went in there and got trapped. And I guess she'd meowed all night long. I got up in the morning and she was in the trap. I let her out and she hung around. I don't know if it was maybe a day or two later. I had a bucket of lard out here and she was trying to get into that lard. She was trying to get the lid open and I'm fighting with her, trying to get it away from her. I had a can of food and she has never left since. She's had ear mites and we've treated ear mites. Just now that it's starting to warm up, she stays outside all day. Sits right there on her little mat. She'll go out in the woods occasionally. Last night, you know, during dusk and I guess during dawn, cats hunt. That's when their hunting instinct kicks in. So last night she was not on the porch and it was starting to get dark, and normally I can tell her to come in and she'll come in. So I called her, and this is the amazing thing. I didn't know that cats did this, but I called her, and I do this regularly. Hey, Skitty, come on, Skitty. And she comes running to the porch, runs to the door, and I open the door, and normally she just goes right in. But last night she was like, no, I'm not coming in, not yet. So I had to wait until actually got dark, and then she come in. She has to knock on the door. Sometimes when it gets chilly out here, she'll knock on the door or want to come back in. Usually, it's not that I forget about her, it's just the time. I lose track of time, so I try to leave her out here for about a half an hour, and then I ask her if she wants to come in. On a colder day, she'll come in, but sometimes I lose track of time, so she'll knock on the door. But she was, I guess, homeless, and now she's got a home. We'll have to make sure she always has a home. I mean, Carolyn is obviously her owner. She really does enjoy Carolyn's company. She lets me pet her. It's funny, she'll come up on the bed, I get to stroke her back 3 times, and then she walks away. I mean, she literally comes up to me, gets her back stroked 3 times, then she'll lay on Carolyn's stomach, and then Carolyn rubs her ears, and that's where she sleeps for a good portion of the evening. So, a little while ago, there was a dog up the hill. It's a pit bull, and I don't even understand this. Why would you do this? But it appeared that he'd been dropped off. I've not seen him around here before. Now, you know I have a real difficult time with dogs around here. We've had a dog kill 9 of our chickens, and I think I got all that resolved. I think. I'm not going to go into details about how I got it resolved, but I think that's all been taken care of. We'll see. Well, people just drop their dogs off around here. So I'm always at loss what to do. And he was just starved to death. He hasn't eaten in weeks, obviously, or days, or I don't know. He was definitely needing some food. So I took some cat food, and I took him way out in the woods, and I fed him, hoping that he recognizes that this is not where his food source is. His food source is out in the woods. And it appears that has worked. He hasn't come back. Here's my problem. Is I'm very empathetic to animals, very empathetic. That's why she's here. And I don't want to have to terminate a dog. I hate doing it. I mean, it's just, I hate it. But sometimes you're just left without any options. I get in the comments and say, just shoot the dog. Okay, that's fine, but I don't want to have to do it. Why should I have to do it? I'm being forced to do something I don't want to do. So then the starving dog comes up here. And so what are my choices? Shoot the dog, take the dog to a kennel, and the last time I took an animal to the kennel, I had to pay for it. So now I'm being held responsible for a dog, and they're just going to euthanize it anyways. It can't get adopted out. Well, if it doesn't get adopted out. So you're still just doing the same thing, or feed it and risk that it sticks around. Now, there are a lot of people around here that like dogs, so there may be an option that somebody's already got him, fingers crossed. But then they'll let it loose and it's around here and kill the chickens. Now, like I said, I think I resolved that problem. But there again, I don't want to have to resolve these problems. Why is this my problem? Why should it be my problem? People tell me, well, put up a big fence and keep the dogs out. Again, somebody else's dog is becoming my problem. This is private property. Keep you and your stuff off my property. This cat, as long as she wants to be here, will be here. I mean, I don't think she'll ever run off. I've been studying up on cats, making sure I don't mistreat it or she's happy and all that kind of stuff. Watching videos, and you're not supposed to yell at a cat. You can't say no to the cat or anything. There's positive reinforcement, like she wants her head rubbed now. I hope I didn't get into something here. I'm trying to make a video. I might have to pet her the whole time. Now, there is another cat roaming around here, and that has me concerned. Now, of course, like I said, she's spayed, so we don't have that problem of her chasing after a mate. But there's another cat around here. I saw him the other night, had my headlight on, and I saw the reflection of these eyes, and I kept thinking it was probably a raccoon, but boy, raccoons usually scurry off if they get too close, but this thing, whatever it was, didn't. Finally, I got close enough, and it was a dark-colored cat. I don't know if it was gray or black. So there's not a cat around here that I just don't want to feed another cat. I definitely don't want another pet because of her. She's very happy here, and I don't want to risk stressing her out by bringing in another animal. Besides that, I'm not a sanctuary. I live in a tiny house, and it's hard enough to put her in this tiny house. So to get onto this homeless thing, apparently we're not allowed to live in a tiny house. I got this a lot when I was living in a camper too. I literally know a multi-millionaire. He owned a trash company. Him and his wife decided that they wanted to travel, so they bought a fifth wheel. So they left their home in Oregon, sold their home, got in this fifth wheel, and started traveling the country. They found a little spot in Florida, and they were able to do what's called work camper. And so they got to stay there years, doing maintenance and checking people in right there on the ocean. It was quite incredible. Now, I don't think anybody would call them homeless. But the way we did it, we were called homeless all the time. You're just a little better than homeless. I always kept arguing, I'm not homeless because I don't have to be here. It would seem to me that if you're homeless, it means that you are forced into a situation that you don't want to be in. I wanted to travel. And the only way to do that was to get in a camper and travel for an extended period of time. And we did it for 3 years. And I'd always said, you're homeless if you can't do anything else. Well, when I got tired of traveling, I did something else. And so I bought this piece of property. We built a tiny house. Well, now the rumblings are happening again. My suspicions are somebody on YouTube has made a video about us. I can't find it, but this happens a lot. And somebody's made a video stating that, oh, that is a terrible life. Why would anybody want to do that? And then you have, 50, 60, 70 people coming telling you that you're homeless because this YouTuber said it. Now, they'll never give up their source. They can't do that because, they love this guy. And I don't know. I don't think people are trolls. I think they're just easily convinced by what they call an authority. So this YouTuber, he's an expert in all this stuff. He makes videos talking bad about people, so he obviously knows what he's talking about. And so I've been told now that we're homeless. You're a little better than homeless. Well, I think I'm a lot better than homeless for several reasons. I have shelter, doesn't leak. Tents tend to leak if you can get a tent. I don't have a lot of people around me, putting things in their arms and snorting things in their nose. I don't have any of that. I don't have anybody bothering me. I can get a good night's sleep. I go to bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. I don't have partying going on around me. I have heat. I have something like 1.5 years worth of food. I have chickens. I have a pet. I have the ability to cook it. I'm debt free. I have all this firewood. I have a job. I'm making money. I think I'm a little better than homeless. A lot better than homeless. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go with the same assessment that I did when I was a nomad. I'm not homeless because I can change my situation if I want to. And it's not that difficult for me to do. I could just leave this place. I don't even have to sell it. I was going to say I could sell this place, but I don't even have to sell it. I could just leave it, just abandon it. Go get an apartment and get a job. I guess then I wouldn't be homeless, but then I'm in debt to someone. I got to pay someone a monthly fee to live somewhere. And I guess that's the definition of not being homeless, is paying someone else so you can live. So if they decide they want you homeless, all they have to do is terminate the contract that you have with them. So if you have a years-long lease and you think, well, I'll just renew my lease next year because I've been a good tenant, I've paid on time, and I go up to the front office and I say, I'd like to renew my lease for this year. Oh no, we've sold the building, so they're evicting everybody, so you got 30 days to get out. Now you're homeless. Now you have no place to go because you got 30 days to find someplace else. I am not homeless. I've got my entire life that I can sit here and do whatever it is I want to do. Now, we could go out and buy a house, go out and get debt, get insurance on the house, because when you're in debt, you have to have insurance. So not only do you pay your monthly payment to the bank, you also pay your monthly payment to the insurance company, and whoever else wants money, got to pay for the electric and the water and the sewage. So you're paying for all this stuff. That means you got to go get a job, and now you're not homeless. The economy crashes, and I can no longer afford to pay the payment on the house. I can't afford to pay the insurance, can't pay for the electric, the sewage, the water, and now what? Well, now I'm homeless. But here, I have a permanent dwelling that will always be here, no matter what happens. And I have electric, sewer, and water. No matter what happens, I have these things. The entire world can blow up around me, and I still have a home, water, sewage, electric, and food. I have known people that were homeless in my life. First of all, when we were nomads, it was always obvious who was homeless and who wasn't. There was just a quality of life issue. I always had water. We was always showered. I was always shaved. My hair wasn't always greasy look, you know, that whole thing. And I'm not trying to criticize anybody. There is a definite difference between a person who's homeless, unkept, unclean, you know, and they smell bad, clothes aren't clean, because they can't go into town because they don't have enough gas money to get some water. And the other thing is they can't change their situation. We choose to be here. We chose to be nomads. I've known people, one of them was named Steve, that was a nomad, and he was homeless. He said he liked living out there, but he was homeless, and he got out there in the desert and died. There was another guy too, I forget his name, and he just died from a heat stroke because he couldn't leave. You're stuck out in the desert in the middle of summer. Everybody convinces you to come out there. They say, oh, it's a lot cheaper to live out there. So you live out there and you can't leave, so you can't get any water, and you die. That's homeless. You can't change your situation. Carolyn and I can change our situation any given moment. We just choose not to. So just like the cat, we choose not to. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was talking about YouTube not allowing me to make videos. So I hope I can inspire you to choose a simplistic life. Sing, live your dreams. Thanks for watching.